Now, here's the thing, Gonzo. We, especially recently, the past few months, it seems as if this show is in a period of reaping what we've sown for a while. You know, you and I, those who are OG people, we've been podcasting for over 10 years now, which is fun. Haven't really done anything for over 10 years. And we've come to a point in society where pretty much everything that we've been talking about has gone from the realm of crazy conspiracy theory or whatever to real life. And the Michael Flynn and Newsweek talking about transhumanism is simply just one example of that. And over the past few months, I would say close to a year, started about a year ago, it's just like show after show after show is just us getting a chance to be like, oh yeah, there it is. We've been right all along. Now, here's the thing. Yes, we may be saying that a lot recently, and we are a little bit sensitive. We do not want the whole show to become
and keeping in mind there's other people saying there are many people who are on this sort of boat.
I think we're pretty good at mentioning that. I don't think anybody thinks we're trying to take credit as the only ones who saw it. The sole people, right? Even though we've been doing it longer than most other people, but that doesn't matter. So anywho, we wanted to just kind of be explicit. We are in a strange season where we are on the daily pretty much flabbergasted with even some of the crazier things we've said over the years coming into reality. And we do earnestly, honestly, and authentically want the producers of this show and the longtime listeners to also feel that, because we could not do it. We could not have done it without them. Yeah. That being said, yeah, I mean, the producers are the ones who have allowed us to do this. Now, that being said, we are aware, and we do not want this show to entirely turn into "we told you so" forever, because time keeps moving. We got to stay ahead. We can't rest on our laurels, Gonz. Yeah. But we just kind of wanted to have a heart to heart with everybody. We're kind of it's a strange sort of existential feeling that I think expresses itself. It manifests in us only being able to say, "we told you so," type of thing. And that is just sort of the instinctual response that is coming out of us when we see these things. But we don't want to just make that the whole show. We're going to be trying to move forward here. But I think it is valuable, especially for maybe new listeners who are like, wow, this show is weird and crazy and they talk about crazy stuff. Or maybe they're coming on new to the show and they're like, yeah, these guys are just saying all the stuff that other regular people say. Stuff that I just am seeing. It's like, yeah, we are, but we've also been doing it for a long time. And that's why we're kind of flabbergasted. So there you go. I just wanted to say that out loud. Do you have any comment about that?
Well, I mean, yes, I agree with all the things you said there. But also, with this Michael Flynn story, there's a part of me that was kind of mad, and not because, I'm not getting credit. That's not the thing. It's having the YouTube channel taken away at this point when transhumanism is part of the conversation out there and becoming mainstream. I did feel that anger. I was like, it really does. It really was an actual takedown and censorship.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah, because, I had almost 10 years. I mean, you and I both on Canary Cry, but also on Face Like the Sun, about 10 years of commentary and everything on transhumanism was a big focus of, just stuff we talked about biblically and everything else. So for that to be just gone is kind of like,
Plus, I mean, over 250,000 followers there. Yeah. We had tens of thousands of followers on the Canary Cry YouTube. Both of those YouTubes got banned, taken down for saying things that are now coming out that were true. I mean, we got banned for saying true things too early, basically. And as much as people will comment and try to make us feel better that like getting banned from YouTube and Twitch and stuff is like a badge of honor.
You guys should stand proud. And there's an element.
We try our hardest to be positive, but it really has taken a huge toll on the show in a lot of ways, including there's also the shadow banning, stuff like that, which is very real. And I felt a little bit, I don't know, simpatico with some other pretty large content creators recently talking about shadow banning and how real it is. There was a lawyer, a Section 230 lawyer, who was coming out and was just like, yeah, actually shadow banning is a totally real thing. Here's how to spot it. Here's how you see it in the numbers. Here's how you do this. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, okay. He's just exactly describing.
Because look, that's the one thing I'm really so happy to hear that, because when it was happening, 2015, I mean, I'm just telling you the timing. After Flat Earth, they just started to manipulate the algos and just sort of beat you down. And it was a long, slow process. So between 2015-ish and 2021, when they actually just completely cut it off, it did feel like that scene from Star Wars where the walls are coming in. It's like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
They hit the freeze button, basically.
And the growth of the channel and the reach and everything just got squeezed until they decapitated.
So there you go. There's a little bit. That's just kind of us getting to commiserate, because just kind of where we are right now. And we are feeling weird today. Today's a weird day. I'm feeling weird. Yeah. And part of that is today trending on Twitter, and it's really funny because Gonz and I were having a conversation before the show, about producership and where we are and what's going on, and we're like, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about PayPal shutting off their accounts, banning their accounts, blah, 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 based on their views or their whatever. And we're like, oh man, it's just a matter of time. We know we're next. I mean, we know we're on the list somewhere. Yeah. It's just a matter of when our names come up on the list. And then like a minute later, I jump on Twitter, PayPal is trending. And it is just tweet after tweet after tweet of people having their PayPals turned off today or in the past couple of days. A bunch of blue check marks, a bunch of conservative thinkers, a bunch of the Telegraph posted an article about it. PayPal shuts account of parents group that campaigned against school lockdowns. So, anti-lockdown people, and there's a lot of anti-pedophilia people who are getting their PayPals turned off. Like, everybody, this is just starting to happen. There's just kind of a wave happening.
Yeah, it's a wave.
And we knew this was going to happen, and we started moving towards alternative support platforms, I guess. Yeah. But we're going to have to really jump into that because who knows? We just don't know. We could just wake up tomorrow and be in big trouble. And it's
our own cyber pandemic.
If we still had access and direct access to, the 250,000+ people who would need to know about this. Yeah. What?
I said I'm sure there were a lot of bots too.
Well, just to make it doesn't matter. That's not the point. And it's not just your channel.
I know, it's the whole thing.
Okay, across different platforms. Yeah. So if we still had direct access to everybody, and we could send out a message that told everybody that PayPal got shut down and our platforms are blah, 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 all that, then, we could probably figure out a pretty quick way to pivot and tell everybody. But right now, with the way that our distribution has been squeezed, it would be very difficult to maintain the system, the value for value system, to a livable manner if it got shut off tomorrow. Yeah. Now there's people who are like on the newsletter, people who are on the text message list, people who are, who are connected directly with us. They would get the message and they would know, and that would be very helpful. But yeah, it's kind of feels a little precarious right now, I guess
it's kind of like,
the point.
There's you build something, there's people that are following the podcast or the YouTube channel, whatever it may be. And then they just said, okay, these people that you have, the audience you have built up, we're going to just go ahead and take that and appropriate some other idea onto it
and not tell them.
Yeah, not tell them. There's a definite
and this has
psyop
happened not just with the distribution of the podcast, but it also has happened with funding.
Yeah.
So a ton of our it started with Patreon, and I imagine that a lot of this is happening with PayPal already.
Yeah,
that people's support just got canceled, and we didn't get a notification. They didn't get a notification. It just sort of secretly and quietly turned off, their subscription or their support or their, payments started timing out and not going through, stuff like that. That we've been experiencing for a little while. And which is unfortunate. But it's just the way it is. I mean, it's just the power that is held over us.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to try to build resiliency in the system. And if there's any producers out there that have ideas or knowledge or ability to help build those things out, that would be wonderful. That would help us out a lot. But today, on Friday, the 23rd of September, it feels pretty precarious.
Yeah.
And that's just where we're at. That's where we're feeling. Well, that's what I'm feeling today.
There's an interesting commentary by Paul Joseph Watson, blue check mark.
I put this in the newsletter today.
Yeah. So he tweeted out a screenshot of the article. PayPal censorship marks a vicious new phase in the war on free speech. That was published on the Telegraph, UK. Mm-hmm. And his tweet was, "It's real nice for them to start talking about this now, about 5 years after PayPal started doing it, to the original canaries in the coal mine."
Dun, dun, dun. It's nice to get a little shout out from
Is that a shout out? I don't know if it's a shout out. I think we'd be hijacking the shout out. But,
no, I mean, it's a common phrase, but it's one that we've identified with our entire careers. So there you go.